Mr. Muhammad Irsyad, have you joined us?
Yes, I'm joining.
Okay, you can ask directly to Professor Odean.
Okay, nice to see you, sir, Prof. Odean. I want to ask in previous questions, in efficient country, do we avoid choosing stock based on trending or drive information by an opinion leader, which lead to a concentration of large volume of buying that you say many of lose caused by many concentration of buying in high volume in quantile 5 that you mentioned before. So what we should do if I'm a risk avoid investors retail, it means that we have to choose the mutual fund manager to give our my funds or something like that. Okay.
I know it's a tough one. So I would recommend you become one of those opinion leaders, and then people can follow you and you'll make money. But assuming you can't pull that off, that does leave you with the questions here. So I can discuss the problem. I don't know what the answer is. On the one hand, if you went to a mutual fund manager and you know, one of the problems with going to, if you tell individuals to go to a mutual fund manager, almost always they're going to go choose the manager who did really well the year before. So they're just chasing, instead of chasing a stock, they'll chase a manager. What you want would be a manager, you know, you'd have to know enough about finance to know that the manager was making what you thought were sensible decisions. You would have to, you know, ascertain the manager wasn't charging you so much money that it was no longer worth it. And you'd have to be patient. So a friend of mine was an academic, Joseph Lakanashak. He was the chair at the University of Illinois and really well published. And he went into money management. He eventually, you know, quit his job at the university and became a money manager. And I know he was a fundamentals, you know, study the market kind of guy. Very smart and very straightforward. And in the late 90s, when the dot-com bubble came, his company almost didn't survive because he was buying things that were where the prices made sense, but the market wasn't listening. Now, eventually, you know, things turned around and he did very well, as did, you know, people like Warren Buffett. But you do run the risk that the market isn't going to pay attention to the numbers for a while. I used to tell a story about in the late 90s, 98, 99, where there were two big investors, Julian Robertson, who was running something called the Tiger Fund, and George Soros's fund, which was being run by, oh goodness, I'll think of his name in a moment, Stanley Miller. I'm sorry, his name is eluding me. But Julian Robertson decided that all these high-tech stocks were overvalued, and he basically pulled out of the high-tech sector, and the market went way up. He pulled out in the summer of '99, and the market went, that part of the market went up, and his investors were leaving him, and he closed his fund in March of 2000, right before the market turned. And Stanley Druckenmiller, was running George Soros's fund, and he went long these stocks. He went long the high-tech stocks. And then the market turned and he lost a bunch of money. He was quoted in the New York Times and he used a baseball analogy. He said, we knew the market was overvalued. We thought it was the 8th inning. It turns out it was the 9th. What that means is we thought the game was going to last a little longer, but it ended before we were ready. So if you're going to decide that you're going to buy things that you think are overpriced because other people are going to buy them after you, it's a tricky game. It can be done, but it's a tricky game.
Okay, nice. Thank you, Prof.
Welcome.
Odean.